You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to the Law Firm Practice Management Advice Podcast.
The fundamentals of business.
Join Kirk Stange of Stange Law Firm as he discusses helpful strategies, tools, and insights to grow and manage a legal practice.
Good ideas are simple.
From improving client relationships to managing your team and scaling your practice, this podcast offers practical advice for navigating the challenges of law firm management.
Shall we proceed?
Now, here's your host, Kirk Stange.
Welcome to Law Firm Practice Management Advice. We have an interesting topic today. The topic is branding versus lead generation. And this episode today is based on two articles that I've written. The first one is an article titled Branding versus Lead Generation in Law Firm Advertising. And this article is on my blog, lawfirmpracticemanagementadvice.com. And the date of the article is December 3rd, 2022. And the other article is an article I wrote on entrepreneur.com. And the title of the article there is Why Businesses Must Distinguish Between Branding and Lead Generation. And the date of that article is March 3rd, 2025. So as a follow-up to the episode today, you can read both these articles. It'll give you more information on this topic. But let's go ahead and jump on in. Obviously, law firms in this day and age are going to need to advertise in some manner, all right? And one of the most important distinctions law firms need to make is the difference between branding and lead generation in terms of their advertising. And I would just put forth that I don't know that most law firms understand the difference, right? These are two totally different ways to advertise. These methods have different results. They have different pros and cons. So I think it's really vital for law firm owners and managers and those who market for law firms to understand the difference and then choose the strategy that's going to work best for their particular law firm, right? Every law firm's got to do this a little bit different. Every law firm has different budgets that they're working with and different goals and different aspirations. So understanding the difference is a huge, huge key, all right? So let's go ahead and jump in and talk about lead generation in terms of what that is, all right? Lead generation involves running ads, and the ads themselves allows a consumer of legal services to reach out to the law firm directly, okay? So there's lots of different ways this can take place in this day and age, all right? So it could be that a law firm runs Google ads, and these could be the LSA ads. It could be the Google AdWords. It could be that the law firm's running Microsoft ads or Facebook ads, and there's truly lots of other opportunities out there as well for law firms in terms of ads they can run with social media. I mean, there's X, there's Snapchat, Pinterest, Quora, Reddit, LinkedIn, lots of other possibilities out there as well where a law firm can run ads. If a legal consumer is interested in the law firm's legal services, they can either call the law firm, they can fill out a form with their contact information to the law firm. And again, this is lead generation. So the law firm's running ads and they're getting specific leads. And of course, then the law firm can reach out to these leads. And the hope is that these leads become clients of the law firm. All right. There's lots of other ways law firms can do lead generation type advertising as well. And a lot of it's just these online directories that lots of lawyers advertise in. And so it could be FindLaw, could be Avo, it could be lawyers.com. It could be if they're in Super Lawyers that they advertise on Super Lawyers. If they're in Best Lawyers in America, then they have a directory listing there. All right, there's all kinds of online directories out there, and these online directories are much like an online phone book, right? So legal consumers do searches. They're looking for a lawyer. They see a lawyer that looks appealing to them. They then reach out to that law firm. Again, it could be a phone call. Could be that they email the law firm. It could be that they fill out an online form. Lots of law firms have chat options on the webpage. So it could be that the legal consumer starts an online chat with the law firm and they reach out. Okay. And again, think online phone book. Okay. So this is lead generation advertising. Obviously, to do lead generation advertising, it can be very useful to have a nice web page where people are doing searches. They organically come across a web page, and again, they reach out. So this is lead generation type advertising. This is where a law firm is specifically looking for legal consumers to reach out to them. All right. Another method of advertising, which is very different, and I think a lot of law firms fail to recognize the distinction here. Okay, it's branding, and branding is very different from lead generation. All right, branding could be television ads, branding could be radio ads, branding could be billboards in a certain locality. Obviously, lots of personal injury firms do lots of billboards. Branding could be sponsoring something like a sports team, a charitable event, something like that. Branding could even be magazine ads, newspaper advertisements, these kinds of things run in a given market, all right? And this is quite a bit different. Again, with branding, what a law firm is trying to do is get their name out. They're trying to make themselves well-known in the community. Law firms who do a lot of branding can even achieve a quasi-celebrity status. Like I think in any locality, you all can think of the law firms that do a lot of branding, and almost everybody in the community knows the law firm's name, right? It could be advertising at a bus stop. It could be the side of a bus. You ever seen that where a law firm is like advertising all over a bus in a locality, right? This is branding. This is getting the name of the law firm out there. Okay, branding can take place online too, although a lot of law firms don't think about it, but law firms can run what are called display ads, and display ads can be done through Google, can be done through a lot of social media, where it's basically like an online billboard. So it could be a situation where an individual is reading an article on a news webpage, something like that, and then there's an online billboard in the ad itself where it mentions the law firm and the law firm services, right? And it could basically be a shrunk down version of a billboard on the side of the road. It's just online, okay? Again, this is branding. This is getting the name of the law firm out there, all right? And so then the question is, when should a law firm do lead generation? When should a law firm do branding? What are the pros and cons of each of these different ways of advertising? I think it's important that a law firm think about this and contemplate it. All right. Branding oftentimes requires pretty deep pockets. If a law firm's going to do billboards and radio and TV and bus stops and sides of buses, I've even seen law firms advertise at airports in the billboards within the airport itself. If a law firm's going to do these kinds of things, they're going to have pretty deep pockets, right? This is pretty expensive forms of advertising. And so, that can be a con for a lot of law firms. Lots of law firms don't have the budget to be doing this kind of expensive advertising. On the other hand, if a law firm has deep pockets, they've got a lot of money, they can blitz a given market with this branding type advertising, then the pro is obviously a law firm's name can be commonly known within the community. And so a law firm's got to have a lot of money to do this. That is a really vital piece. But on the flip end with branding, what I believe law firms need to keep in mind is that branding doesn't always result in a quick number of clients coming, because it's not lead generation, it's branding. So branding can result in the law firm's name being commonly known, but it's going to be a situation where a law firm has to understand that branding doesn't always lead to a lot of clients immediately. It's a situation where the clients could come and they could slowly come over time. And obviously branding can have that long-term impact. If a law firm brands long enough and people just know the name of that law firm, then it can result in clients, but it's quite a bit different than lead generation, okay? In terms of lead generation, if a law firm doesn't have a ton of money to burn and they're just trying to get clients and they're trying to get business, then this is where a law firm ought to think about doing the lead generation type marketing versus the branding type marketing, and that will result in the immediate number of clients, okay? So the pro of this is lead generation is typically going to be less expensive, not always, but it's typically going to be less expensive. But the problem with the lead generation is that you have to keep running it all the time. If you stop running the lead generation ads, the leads are going to stop coming because there's been no branding. So the law firm's name is not commonly known in the community, but people see the lead generation activities, they reach out to the law firm, but the law firm's got to keep feeding the monster, if you will. They've got to keep the lead generation going. Otherwise, the business will stop going, okay? So lead generation results in more immediate numbers of clients, but it doesn't have a branding impact in most instances. On the flip end, branding makes a law firm's name well known, but it doesn't necessarily lead to immediate numbers of clients, right? Lots of individuals who see the branding efforts aren't even looking for a lawyer in that area, right? So an individual can see the billboards, they can see the side of the bus advertisements, they can see the advertisements at the airport, but if they don't need that kind of attorney, then at the end of the day, there's not going to be an immediate number of clients coming, where with lead generation, those individuals are looking for a lawyer in that particular area, and so it results in more clients, all right? So these are kind of the pros and cons of branding versus lead generation. Candidly, some law firms might opt to do a little bit of both, right? Do some lead generation, do some branding. Engaging in advertising in a dual sense can be pretty comprehensive and be a little bit powerful. But again, a law firm's got to have the budget to do it. And of course, as I mentioned previously, the branding can be very expensive. In a lot of law firms, the budget just isn't there. So maybe they do branding, or they do lead generation, I should say, for a substantial time. And as they build up their firm, then maybe they dip their toe into the branding a little bit more over the course of time. On the flip end, it's important to know if a law firm's hurting and they're struggling for business, and then they just dive in the deep end on branding. A lot of law firms have to understand that might not be what they want to do, because it doesn't result in the immediate number of clients. And if they don't have the money to blitz the market, the branding might not be that effective. All right, so definitely an interesting topic. Again, as a follow-up to the episode today, going over to lawfirmpracticemanagementadvice.com, read the article titled Branding versus Lead Generation in Law Firm Advertising, or go over to entrepreneur.com, read the article titled Why Businesses Must Distinguish Between Branding and Lead Generation. Both these articles will give you all more information on this topic. It's definitely an interesting one that I wanted to cover today, but thanks for tuning in today. Stay tuned to our next episode of Law Firm Practice Management Advice coming up. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to the Law Firm Practice Management Advice Podcast with Kirk Stange. Kirk Stange is the president and founding partner of Stange Law Firm, a multi-state divorce and family law practice. For more insight on similar law firm management topics, visit his practice management advice blog at lawfirmpracticemanagementadvice.com.